Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and this channel's for everyone worldwide that loves great movies and great TV series that are released all over the world. Now today we've got another early special review, and this title should be released for the general public here in about 3 or 4 days, so I did get this one early in for review as well, and I've been trying to get as many of these out as fast as possible for all of you. This one I was really excited to pick up and get into. So today we're going to deep dive into Night Gallery, the complete restoration and remaster on Blu Ray, and this is the complete first season from Kino Lorber. So today we're going to be going in, I'll give you my movie review, we're going to run down through the specs, the image quality of it, I'm going to show you what it looks like above when we're going through this as well, and then we're going to do a quick unboxing, go through, show you what comes in this set, then I'm going to wrap it up at the end with my final thoughts on my review score and let you know if this is something worth buying, if you already own those DVDs, if this is something you're going to want to replace those DVDs with, and if this is something you're going to want to add to your collection. So make sure to stick around to the end. I always give you my review score so that way you know how this compares to previous TV series releases that I've reviewed. And there was some interesting things I ran into about this release. Some things surprised me, and then some other things kind of disappointed me just slightly. So I think there's going to be a lot of things that will kind of surprise you as we go through this. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to go down there and hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any of these early or exclusive reviews that I do here on my YouTube channel. I've done hundreds of these over the years, and there is so much content. So if you have not checked out some of my previous reviews, there is a ton of hidden and unknown TV series and Blu-ray releases and 4K releases from all over the world that you'll be surprised that are available for us here in the US or Canada or anywhere around the world to buy and own that are completely remastered and restored. As you can probably notice up there in that corner up there, there's a bunch of them up there that I've done reviews on before. Columbo, Mission Impossible, and that's just to name a few. There's hundreds I've touched on over the years. And when I'm doing review scores for TV series, I always compare them to previous restorations or remasters on Blu-rays. So the review scores I do on Blu-rays are not the same batch of review scores that I do on 4Ks. They are two different categories. So when I do go through, I have two different lists that I use on comparing reviews of how the qualities are on Blu-rays versus what they are on 4Ks. So diving into this, Night Gallery was basically one of those sci-fi anthology horror mystery series. In my opinion, it was kind of a spin-off of the Twilight Zone with a mixture of the Outer Limits in it. The Night Gallery was a little bit darker of a TV series in my opinion though. And I do like it. Rod Serling's great in it. I love the Twilight Zone. I love Outer Limits. Those are just some great anthology series. And Kino Lorber has done a brand new restoration and remaster for Night Gallery just like they previously did for the Outer Limits. And I loved that Outer Limits Blu-ray set. It was a great release. And so I was really interested to see what they did with this and how good it was going to look because the DVDs were really, really poor. I mean, Universal, when they released those, I mean, they just really didn't do much with them. And they really, really are desaturated, tears in the films, grain that was all over the place, blotches, splotches, partial tears. I mean, they just really looked really bad. So I was curious how much they were going to be able to do with this to restore this or make this look better. As you probably noticed in the screenshots above, it does look pretty good. Now, I will say that with a caveat though. Here's what I noticed going through this. The screenshots came out looking really good, and I tried to get some of them where they didn't look as good, and you'll see those kind of throughout as we're going through here. There are some where there are some scenes that it doesn't look as good, and here's my understanding. Those film reels and those things that they were scanning simply were damaged so much so that they could only scan it and get so much out of it. Because here's what they did. To create this brand new full 1080p HD scan, they went back and did 2K scans of the original interpositives so that they could represent it in 1080p and get it to look the best it could. The problem was there's a lot of damage on those original interpositives, the original reels. There's a lot of it. And in watching this, especially in the pilot, I'd probably say the pilot that had basically those 3 segments or 3 episodes in the pilot, they did have the most damage that I saw throughout it. As the series went on, it got a whole lot better looking throughout it. It's just the pilot did have a lot of damage that even though they fixed it, and compared to the DVD, there's no comparison. I mean, the DVD looked horrendous, but This actually did still retain some of that damage. So that's where when I get to the end of my review score, it's not going to be as beautiful a restoration or remaster as maybe what you would have seen with like Murder, She Wrote that Elephant Films did, or The Incredible Hulk that Elephant Films did, or the Columbo Blu Ray set. I mean, those looked really good. They really restored those, took a lot of the speckles and damage out of those films. This one, I understand there was a lot that they had to work with to get rid of a lot of that. So you will still see some speckles throughout it. The tears are fixed, but you will still see some black speckles and fuzzes and things like that throughout it. So it's just not as clean an image as like even like the Time Tunnel. I mean, I recently did that one recently here, and the Time Tunnel looked absolutely outstanding. Heck, Mission Impossible that's up there in that corner up there, I mean, that one really looked outstanding. Yeah, there was some speckles throughout that entire series every once in a while, but they really did, Paramount did an outstanding job on that Mission Impossible restoration and remaster and really did clean up that image nicely while leaving the natural film grain in that. And they did leave the natural film grain in this and did not DNR it out. So I did like that they did that. It's just, I think Kino Lorber only had so much of a budget going into this to spend so much time on trying to clean it up. And that's why there are some speckles and some little damage that you still will notice in it. So I wanted to point that out because a lot of people ask about that. And that is where the Night Gallery does look good. It is a huge upgrade over the Blu Ray. But you will still notice some damage. It is not a perfect representation, and I don't know that it ever could be. So that's where the hard thing is Mission Impossible and those film reels for that were stored so much better. My understanding is the Night Gallery was not stored well at all, and the film reels were not handled well, which is what has caused a lot of the damage that they had to go back and basically fix. So this is the best it's ever looked, and it does look really good. It's just there are some varying scenes where you'll notice throughout it that some aren't as good as some others are, and so on and so forth. But overall, it does have a great looking image overall. Now, if you enjoy this video and you enjoy my content, please consider giving this video a super thanks. Right down below this video, there's a heart symbol that looks like this. And when you click on that, that helps to give a super thanks to the channel. All of that goes right back into the channel, helps me to keep providing you all of this special, early, and exclusive content. And that also helps me to keep this channel going. So if you enjoy my content, please consider giving this video a super thanks by clicking that heart symbol button below. Also, if you enjoy this video, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of this exclusive content. And like I said, I put the links for all of these listed in the description section right below this video. So if you're going to pick this up, make sure to go down the description section right below and click through that link to Amazon. That does help out as well. So Night Gallery basically ran from 1969 to 1971 for season 1. It has like a pilot movie that then, I guess it was an odd thing because it was a pilot movie with kind of like segments. I call them all episodes, but they're called segments. So you have basically the pilot movie that has 3 segments in it. Then you get into the episodes that were much later on, and then those have segments inside them as well. So basically the way it is you basically get a total of 7 episodes if you count the pilot as an episode, and then with 17 segments, which are separate episodes inside the episodes, that make up season 1. So in my opinion, I know some of you might argue, in my opinion it's basically 17 episodes that make up season 1. Because it's an anthology series, they're shorter episodes inside each episode, if that kind of makes sense. But that's kind of how I look at it. So it might be a little bit wonky, but that's just me. Now the aspect ratio is in the original 1.33 to 1. So you'll see it'll have the black bars on the side with the image in the center. That's the natural and original way it was filmed in the aspect ratio it's supposed to be in. If they would have opened it up, you would have seen cameras and crew, and obviously they didn't want that. So that's why they left in the original aspect ratio, which I do appreciate. It doesn't bother me with the original bars on the side. To be honest with you, with all of the high-def TVs we have now, and I play it on my 4K TV, because they're so big anyways, generally, it doesn't really matter having those on the sides. And I want it to not take away from the actual, basically, image and to take you out of the episode, so I wouldn't have wanted them to open it up anyways. So they did keep that in its original aspect ratio. Now, audio option-wise, it does have English, DTS HD Master Audio 2.0, and that's the only audio option on it. It does sound good, though there is, throughout it, some parts of it randomly through episodes where you do notice the audio just slightly dip out just a little bit. And I think that's due to, again, how the films were handled, the audio and things like that. So you'll just notice every once in a while, very rarely, where the audio will just slightly dip out to a lower volume where you have to strain just slightly to hear it, and then it'll come right back. And it's just a few seconds throughout the entire series. I would probably say maybe out of all 17 segments, I maybe noticed it a dozen times. And it only lasted for like maybe 2 to 3 seconds inside those. So that's where I said when I get to my review score, it does affect that as well. It does have subtitles in English on it, but that's the only subtitle option you do get on it. It does have audio commentary on it that you can run as an audio commentary track as well. Now getting inside here, it does have a nice slipcover. I did like the artwork they used. It says Night Gallery Season 1 on it. And then it has some color pictures on the back talking about it. It did have a bunch of things like the audio commentary on the pilot and then the other episodes. And throughout it, it does have audio commentaries on almost each and every episode. It does talk about a look at the show's troubled second life and reruns, and it's a featurette by film historian Craig Beam. That was basically it. So you get that featurette plus the audio commentaries. Those are your special features on Season 1. Now, when you get inside here, it does have the same cover art on it on the front and the back. And then when you open it up, you do get in here a nice little pamphlet. I like that Kino Lorber took the work to do an extra little pamphlet in here. I like that they included that. So in here you have Night Gallery Season 1 pilot and episodes 1 through 2. And then over here you have Night Gallery Season 1 episodes 3 through 6. Same standard Kino Lorber artwork on the discs on here. Now, I will point out these do say Region A locked, and they are Region A locked. So those of you that watch this from outside of the country, I know in Europe and France and Germany, I have a ton of you that watch my channel from outside the country. You will need a region-free or multi-region Blu Ray player to play these. And I know this is the only release of Night Gallery that has been completely remastered and restored. So I know a lot of you are really excited to pick this up, and a lot of you have messaged me asking for this review, so that way I could test these and let you know about it. They are both Region A locked. So if you live outside of the Region A territory, you live outside the US or Canada, you're going to need to have a region-free or multi-region Blu Ray player to be able to play either of these discs. I always put those in the description section right below this video. There's links for them that I personally use, and those are worldwide region-free and multi-region players. They come with adapters so that way you can play them at any outlet around the world. They also work with NTSC and PAL, so no matter what TV you have, it works with all of those. They've been modified so that way they work great. And the one I recommend is the Panasonic UB820 that I have listed down in the description section below. That's the one I personally use. If you want the hands down absolute best player out there that is going to make the image quality of Blu-rays and 4K Ultra HDs look absolutely outstanding, that is the one I recommend picking up. And maybe one day I'll do a review on that player on its own, but I've been talking about it a lot lately because I have gotten hundreds of comments asking me about that player, and that one is absolutely outstanding. And just to let you know, even with these, it does make regular Blu-rays even look outstanding as well. Talking about the pamphlet here, it is 2 pages. It opens up and it talks about the pilot. Now, the only thing that I thought was odd is how they kind of like categorize this pamphlet. They put the pilot with the segments across the top here. So these are all what's in the pilot episode. Then it goes down here and lists them out, episode 1, 2, 3, and so on. So that was a little bit confusing, I thought, at first, because I thought, well, pilot, and then they say episode 1, and I thought there was only 1 at first when I read it, and then you kind of have to figure it out. So that was a little confusing how they printed it on there. I don't think I would have printed it that way. I would have listed them all out across if I was going to do that, so that way it made a little more sense. But I do like it gives a little description, tells the air dates, it's all in English, tells the actors, directors, and I like that they included this in there, so that way it just gives you a little cheat sheet to go into, and then on the back it just says episode guide. So that's your little pamphlet that come with it, and I do give props to Kino Lorber for including these in there. I like when little things like this are put in there, so that way you don't have to go into the episode to find what you're wanting to watch. If there's a certain director or actor or segment you're wanting to find, you just pull this out, look at it, and then you know what disc to put in. So the discs in here are 2 BD50s on Blu-ray, and there's plenty of room for the content. They didn't have that issue at all. They did a good job with the remaster and restoration. It's just that maybe if they would have spent tons and tons of extra time, they could have gotten rid of some more of those speckles or damage throughout it. But I do understand there is limitations when you're talking with boutique labels, that they only have so much time and money to put behind it. And honestly, this is the best it's ever looked. It is an outstanding release for Night Gallery compared to the DVDs that existed before. This new HD 1080p representation is outstanding for Night Gallery. Just compared to some of the other restorations of TV series that are even older than this, like Mission Impossible and things like that, this one just isn't as great of a restoration looking as some of those. It does look good, don't get me wrong. But I just feel like overall what you see, even Time Tunnel, just did look slightly better. Price-wise for this release, you're looking between $28 to $39. It's been fluctuating a lot because of all the supply issues. And I know you're probably getting tired of hearing about this. I am. I'm getting tired of asking questions of why a review's not done yet, or why something hasn't come in, or I get tons of comments of why things are sold out. I have no control over that, and to be honest with you, I'm tired of it too. Because when I try to do a review and if something's damaged, I have to send it back, man, it takes them forever to get it. And to be honest, there's tons of things I just haven't even gotten yet. I keep requesting them to send out another copy, and they say, well, we don't have any copies in. We only had one copy, or we only had a few copies. We had to request others, and studios are saying, well, we don't have any to send out. So it really is a mess right now, and I really hope it all gets ironed out because doing reviews has been really difficult. I am excited these came in early, though, because that way I was able to get these early reviews out for all of you. Now, my review score for Night Gallery. I really enjoy this show. I love Anthology series. Night Gallery is outstanding. I mean, heck, Steven Spielberg directed an episode in this. I mean, there just really is a ton of outstanding directing and writing in this series. Rod Serling's great in it. I absolutely love the series, and if you love Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, my review score for Night Gallery is an 8.9. It's a great review score. I really do enjoy the series. It just got dinged some points and some fractions of a point because there is some things that still could have been fixed. They just weren't. So compared to the other TV series I've reviewed over the years, I've done hundreds of them, I have a big book to compare them to. And when I compare the restoration for this for a similar show that came out at a similar time period that was filmed on film reels, that they did a new restoration and remaster on, this one just doesn't look as good as some of those. So that's where this falls. It didn't look nearly as good as like Time Tunnel did. It's a great restoration and remaster, and this is the best I think Night Gallery will ever look unless they want to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to go in there and spend taking every speckle and dirt out of it. And I don't see them ever doing that. I'm surprised we got this, and I'm thrilled we did. And we are going to be getting Season 2 and Season 3, which I'll be reviewing those here on the channel in 2022 as well. So make sure if you're not subscribed yet, go down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of those as well. But this one, for them starting off with Season 1, is a great upgrade. If you own those DVDs, throw those things away, sell them. This blows those away and you'll never watch those DVDs again. And as a collector and loving classic TV series, this one is outstanding. I was so excited to add it to my collection. And even though it wasn't as great of a restoration or remaster as some of those other ones were, because I knew how damaged Night Gallery was, it's still outstanding. So that 8.9 is still a must buy and is something if you love great classic TV series, you got to pick this up and add this to your collection. They did a great job with it, and for their budget and being a boutique label, Kino Lorber did a great job with this. They don't have the money that Paramount Studios does, so keep that in mind. Paramount Studios had millions of dollars to sink into those restorations and remasters. They don't have as much with this one. So that's why I said it's still a great release and is well worth adding to your collection, the best it's ever looked, and I highly recommend picking this up. Let me know in the comment section below if this is one you're excited to pick up. Make sure if you're going to pick this up as well, go down to the description section link right below this video, click that arrow down. It'll take you straight out to Amazon to pick up your copy. Make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification. And I ask if you enjoy my content, consider giving this a super thanks. That does help to support this channel so I can keep going out and buying these releases or getting them in early, spending all this extra time to get you these screenshots and these comparisons and compile these reviews for all of you. Let me know if you're excited about this TV show. I sure was. I love Anthology TV series. Outer Limits was a great release and it looked outstanding as well. They did a great job with that restoration and remaster. I'll put the link for the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone from Paramount Studios on Blu Ray. I'll put those restorations and remasters in the description section link right below. That way if you haven't picked those up yet, those are great sets to pick up as well. Those are highly recommended and look outstanding as well. And if you love Anthology series, those are must-buys as well. And I'll make sure to put those in the links in the description section below. I had a great time watching the show and diving into it. And I'm excited to pick up Season 2 and Season 3 and see if they kind of perfect their craft on the Night Gallery and how those look. If they work a little bit better and kind of get rid of a little bit more specs in it and maybe some of those audio fluctuations, if they kind of get rid of those when Season 2 and Season 3 release, I'll be interested to see how those do. So make sure to stay tuned. I hope all of you have a blessed day. I look forward to doing this again real soon, and I've got tons more exciting content coming out.